Hello friends, today's topic of discussion is socio-economic and caste census. Relevance of this topic with regard to RBI Grade B will be in Phase 1 General Awareness and Phase 2 Paper 2 Economic and Social Issue under Poverty Elevation, Employment Generation in India, Education, etc. With respect to NABARD, Grade A and Grade B will be in Phase 1 Economic and Social Issues, Phase 2 Paper 2 Economic and Social Issues under Poverty Elevation, Employment Generation in India, Education, etc. There are many reasons responsible for the conduction of socio-economic and caste census. For example, the current definition of poverty doesn't match with India's income distribution. Secondly, Tendulkar methodology fixed an expenditure of around Rs 30 per day. All these reasons cause public indignation. So, SECC is conducted to overcome all these problems and to give more accurate status of families. This is a very important slide for students to note what is the difference between population census and SECC 2011. What things are covered in population census and why SECC is conducted in year 2011 despite of population census conducted every 10 years. Everybody knows that population census is conducted every 10 years, but it's strange and very important to note that SECC was last conducted in 1931. So, you can see that after a gap of nearly 80 years, SECC is again conducted in 2011. Another important aspect to note that population census is conducted by Home Ministry, but SECC 2011 is conducted by 3 ministries, which are explained in detail later. Population census is carried under Census of India Act 1948 and personal data is kept confidential in it. That is, it cannot be made public. On the other hand, in SECC 2011, personal data is used for ranking households based on predefined parameters, preparing BPL list, etc. and it is not carried under any act. The motto of population census conducted in 2011 is Our Census, Our Future. SECC 2011 was India's first paperless and caste-based census conducted on handheld devices manufactured by Bharat Electronics Limited, which began on 29 June 2011 from Sankhola village in West Tripura district and released in July 2015. SECC 2011 has 3 census components which were conducted by 3 separate authorities like Census in Rural Area was conducted by Ministry of Rural Development, Census in Urban Area was conducted by Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Elevation. And please note here that the Ministry of Urban Development and Ministry of Housing and Poverty Elevation have been clubbed into Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. The third component, that is Caste Census, was conducted by Registrar General of India and Census Commissioner of India, which is under Ministry of Home Affairs. I again repeat to remember the above point for exam point of view. Following are the main objectives of SECC 2011. First, to rank households in both rural and urban areas. Please note, it ranks both rural and urban households on the basis of their socio-economic status, which will help state government to prepare BPL list and identify beneficiaries for welfare schemes. Second, it also makes available caste-wise population enumeration of the country and education status of various castes and sections of the population. SECC 2011 uses parameters laid down by S.R. Hashim committee, that is 14 parameters for automatic exclusion, 5 parameters for automatic inclusion and grading of deprivation on basis of 7 criteria. Very important point to note. Remember all these 14 parameters of automatic exclusion. It is very important from the exam point of view. Remember all these 5 parameters for automatic inclusion, and it is also again very important for the exam point of view. Now remember all these 7 parameters of grading of deprivation, and now I am going to explain all these parameters with an example. Suppose total number of households is equal to X, and based on 14 parameters of automatic exclusion, number of households come out to be Y. Net remaining households is equal to X minus Y. These remaining households on the basis of 7 parameters are prioritized for inclusion in BPL list. Order of priority for households for inclusion in BPL list is the largest number of deprivations to the smallest number of deprivations. Key findings of SECC 2011 is mentioned in the tabular form. Main points to note here is that total households, that is the rural plus urban, in the country is 24.39 crore, out of which 17.91 crores are rural households and 10.69 crore households are considered for deprivation, out of which 2 crore households don't report deprivation. So, total 8.69 crore households are prioritized on the basis of 7 parameters as explained earlier. More than half, that is around 56% of rural households are landless and 36% are illiterate. In the census of 2011, this figure was 32%. So, you can notice that there is rise in number of illiterate rural households in recent years. Out of remaining, 64% are literate and 20% have not completed primary school. 13.34 crore rural households, which constitute 74.5% of their total population, earn rupees 5,000 monthly. Maharashtra tops the list of largest number of manual scavenging in India, followed by MP, UP, Tripura and Karnataka. India's 0.1% population comprises of transgender, with Andaman and Nicobar Islands, West Bengal, Gujarat, Odisha and Mizoram has highest proportion. Along with this, military and paramilitary were kept out of SECC. The two images shows quick overview of key findings of SECC 2011, which was explained earlier. SECC 2011 faced several criticisms despite of its vast coverage. Some of them are explained here. Some experts doubted the methodology used to carry out the SECC 2011, while some criticized the ministry chosen to conduct it, especially Ministry of Rural Development, which conducted the census in rural area, because it is new in this field and is even prone to political compulsions. The data released has covered only 640 districts across the country. Due to its restricted coverage, it might harm existing welfare programs and preparation of BPL list. SECC 2011 has some data which contradicts the ground realities. For example, it underestimates number of manual scavenger in India to only 1.80 lakh households. The personal data is kept confidential in population census But on the other hand, personal information given in SECC is open to use by government departments to grant benefits to households which can be skewed due to political or social reasons. MCQs are for practice and are based on the content discussed so far. Kindly solve them for better understanding. Thank you and happy learning.